our first goal is to replace your income.
True. That's so true.
Once you replace your income, then you go to the next thing, which is around security.
Security, I think, is the most important, because I think any parent will know, you're a parent, is that we caution our children.
Yes.
No matter what happens up here,
Yes.
they are always in a bubble. They make
Yes.
sure that they're eating well. Even if ourselves, we starve ourselves, but we have to make sure that our children have the best of the best.
Yes.
The best of the best, again, would be knowing that comfort that you're not going to think about university will come, my son will do very well. Yeah, you know for sure that you have that money to secure his future moving forward.
Yes.
And I think that's the most important. Why I came to you was, how can I make sure my son, my daughters are
Exactly.
able to have that security without me stressing all the time.
Exactly.
Especially at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Where you're like, you have to pay school fees.
Yeah.
And I just know it's guaranteed
Yeah.
for me. Then I can concentrate on other things.
Yeah.
Then land maybe can come later.
Yeah.
Once you want to invest in something, you want to build an apartment.
Yeah.
But ensure that whatever happens, this side is already taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's why I came to you.
Yeah.
And just to find that. And also, one of the biggest questions I ask you is that for somebody who's risk averse, you know, most women are very careful with their money. We save, we keep it carefully. So we don't like people playing around with our money.
Yeah.
What advice would you give me, who's one person who's very risk averse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me surprise you. It's actually not possible to summarize an individual as risk averse, risk taker, or whatever is in between.
Okay.
Because a human being is such a complex
It's true.
being.
Yeah.
You get, eh? So let's just do it by example. If we have a portfolio that assures you that you will get your 200,000 shillings every month to take care of all your family needs, that's one. Then you have another portfolio that will take care of all your education needs. You know, regardless of whatever happens, we are good. Then we make sure you have a home.
Yes.
Yeah? And then we make sure you have insurance. The extra money that you have on top of that, do you think you'll be risk averse or a risk taker?
I'll be a risk taker, of course, definitely.
Exactly, because you have your back covered.
Yes.
So the key thing, that's why we've got to start from the foundation. You know,
okay, now I get
your
you.
first car cannot be a Porsche Cayenne. You've got to start from a Toyota, you get it, and build up there. I mean, there's nothing wrong going to a Porsche Cayenne if you've taken care of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But that's not a natural course of life. So the natural course of life, make sure that your children, your family will never lack food, shelter, and clothing.
And education.
And then now you go to the level 2,
which is education.
which is education,
Insurance.
home ownership, insurance, those kind of things that ring fence your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you say, because why do we call it security? You say, security, you have to imagine what is the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at what are the big disruptors of life, especially financially. It's been known that medical bills are the #1 cause for family bankruptcies in the US and even here. Even here.
Yeah.
So what plan do you have to take care of that? Because even if you have 100 million shillings with Nabo Capital to take care of your lifestyle, education, and then someone very close to you becomes ill, that they need attention, medical attention that will cost 200 million shillings. Won't you use to the last coin to give them a chance?
Definitely.
So that's why you've got to take that and attack it individually. Say, I'm going to attack that kind of emergency. And education is also a big disruptor.
Yes, it is.
Because it requires you to pay big sums of money very frequently and for a long period of time. So that's why you find so many parents, when they are about to retire, that's when their kids are finishing school.
True.
And therefore, the biggest investment they've ever made is education for their kids.
Yeah.
And then you hear, narratives like I used to pay so much school fees, I don't know where the money went. It's because at the prime of your life,
Yeah.
the only thing that was sucking your money
Or school fees.
was school fees.
Yeah.
You didn't have any more
Extra income.
powder
Yeah.
to figure out how your future is going to be.
Wow.
And that's why many parents have become dependents of their children, not because they wanted, but because they just did not know any better.
Comes back to my theory of saving and tithing.
Uh-huh.
Which is very interesting, because when we are, like now, a typical person, when you start, you are 21, you have a salary of 100,000, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
0 to 100,000. What should I be able to do? Because I'm thinking this should start from the beginning. We should not start like, retirement. Let's start from the beginning. I have just left school. Parents, you moved out of but you have a job, now you can move out. What is the first thing I should think about when it comes to money? Tithing, savings, and what else?
It's a good one. And I've really pondered over this question. Not for other people, but for myself.
Okay.
And one thing that is very clear is that I would not have left my mother's house too quickly.
Why would you not have left?
Simple. The moment you leave your mother's house and you start depending on that income that you're getting on a monthly basis, you enter the rat race. And it takes a lifetime to get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
But somebody who is getting, let's say, 50,000 bob a month, their first salary, you can save and invest most of it, if not all. Yeah, as you say, if you are religious, the first thing you've got to do is to tithe. But the rest is really available.
Yeah.
Your mother doesn't require you to pay rent. They do not require you to buy food. You can have an agreement with your parents. Say, for the next allow me to stay here for 2 years, and give myself a chance at life. And if you come out there and say, I now have a sizable portfolio with Nabo Capital that can be giving me, let's say, 50,000 bob in a month, then you leave your mother's house, and instead of depending on the salary, you say you limit your expenses to how much your portfolio is giving you.
I hadn't thought about that. I wish I'd done that, because I was ready to leave at 21.
Exactly. So it's just, just the world has sold something that is not true to all of us. That you're strong when you leave your mother's house. You can actually have a plan, a real plan. You get out of there when you have a real sizable portfolio that will take care of you. And no, that's the beginning. Imagine all the salary increases that you've received ever since you got your first job. So the moment every time you get a salary increase, you sweep it.
True.
Like you never really had it.
It's true.
You sweep it to your investment.
You're used to that kind of income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You keep sweeping it. You keep sweeping. By the time you're 40, you have such a portfolio. It can run into millions of, monthly income into your bank account.
Which you've actually answered a question that one of my friends had, which I had to ask you, was she wanted to retire by 35.
Yeah.
So she wanted to know a plan.
Yes.
Now that she's already out of the mother's house, so she can't pull the first one, which I think is a good idea. And by the way, my son, I'm sorry for telling you, you leave after 18 and staying, so you can invest. So like those ones of, how would she be able to retire? How can somebody be able to retire minus living frugal, like by investing? How do you? What kind of advice would you give such a person?